Nice. Yeah, look, the show just started. They already got 3 viewers. Feds, stream snipers. I don't know. Judas Slychai, the based Persian Mystery guy, is here, and he has informed me that he has not only one but 2 copies of Luke Ford's memoir, Diary of a Guy Who, Diary of a Pornography Guy, or something like that. They're both hard copy and soft cover. So Luke Ford will not pass quietly into the annals of history. His works shall live on, because they've spread throughout the populace. Kind of makes me want to write a book. I should, if I write a book, then I could say I'm an author, I'm like a book writer guy, and I can autograph shit for people. But I have a crappy autograph. You know what? It would be the toughest part of writing a book for me. Would probably be like the autograph part, because I have like a really crappy autograph. Really, really crappy autograph. But listen, I'm not a stylish guy. I am a didn't do nothings. So tonight's stream, of course, the big news, everywhere, every newspaper in New Jersey, all 4 papers, Times, News, New York Post, and I think it was Wall Street Journal, all talking about the Buffalo Soldier in the war for America. Does the kid glow? The kid appears to glow. He's another somebody who's worried about the future of the white race, who has no children, and his solution to the problem is let's go shoot some black people in a supermarket in Buffalo, New York, which the supermarket had an armed security guard. Nobody seems to notice that. So kudos to him for having the guts to go in there because, you know, not that he has the guts. He's a fucking mental case. But he could have picked a softer target. But there's a reason. There's a reason why there's armed security in the supermarket in Buffalo, and there's no armed security in the supermarkets where I live, or probably where you live. So, but it is what it is. This thing. Let me see a picture of the kid. I'll show you. It looks like a jerk. Really, really. Yeah, this one. This one was a particularly. This is the. Oh, not that one. Come on, where are we at? This one. Yeah, here we go. There we go. See, the key is shut everything off. Like shut everything off. Right? Shut everything down. Shut everything down. Then we're going to share. It's all resource management. The entirety of life is resource management. Is it not? Properly managing and husbanding your resources so that you get the desired outcome. Judas Fly Chai in the chat. I prayed with him a couple of times. That, sir, is awesome. So here's the kid. He looks whatever out of it. But particularly, you look at his boots or his shoes. His shoes are like, I don't know what size his feet are, but those are like size 17 boots. Those are fucking size 17 boots. He has maybe probably like a size 11 foot. Where the fuck he got those boots from? To look like army dude. Was that really the only pair of boots that they had, of desert boots that they had in the Army Navy store? Was the size 18? Was this, they're Bozo boots. They really look like, he looks like Bozo the Clown there. Anyway, a lot of people are unhappy that the police took him alive. But they took the DC shooter alive and, the New York City subway shooter and the blah, 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 blah. They don't always shoot people. Although a lot of times they do. So okay. However, this thing, I don't know how this is going to go. The only importance of this is what if any effect it will have on the Supreme Court. And with Antifa protesting outside the homes of the Supreme Court justices, is that intimidating them? And will it change their ruling on that NYSERPA verdict, which I've been talking about? Was talking about last week. I was talking about the New Zealand shooter last week, and the Buffalo soldier did such a copycat of New Zealand that it is very, very hard not to think, hey, this is a glowing operation. This is a good screenshot from whatever Fox News grabs him. This is the dude. Some black dude who was talking to this kid the day before, and then stayed away on the day of the shooting. But the Buffalo resident said it's ridiculous. Something has to change. If more people were armed and knew what they were doing with a gun, because it's not the gun, it's the person with the gun that don't know how to act, like knuckleheads. But so they found a Black Second Amendment supporter and interviewed him. And on his shirt, you see I circled it. It actually says Black King. So we're gonna make this guy honorary. Plus, he's got that weirdo beard. He's got that crazy kind of beard. That's like a razor. That's like that razor thin beard. I don't know how they do that. It must take a really a lot of time in the morning to keep all that in order. But I thought it was funny that the first quote they had was from some black dude who's pro Second Amendment. I thought that was particularly funny. And so the question is, is it going to affect the SCOTUS decision? Or is it not going to affect the SCOTUS decision? I'm trying to read the tea leaves. I've been trying to read the tea leaves for months now. New York and New Jersey just trying to pass some new legislation, but it's mostly ghost gun shit or 3D printed stuff. I think they don't know. They don't know what they're doing or what they're going to do. So we still have to wait and see. We're about a month out, but did it affect their ruling one way or another? Is it already written? Is it written in stone? We'll never really know until the decision is made, until the decision is announced, I should say, which should be like second week of June or something like that. Supposedly, I don't know why you hear arguments in November and you make your decision in June. I don't understand how that works, but the word supreme is not associated with my name. You know what I mean? When you're a Supreme Court justice, everyone refers to you as Supreme Court Justice, whoever, you know what I mean? Like, or Justice so-and-so. You know what I mean? So does that go to your head? I'm sure it does. Does it, what does that, I don't know, does it make you feel invulnerable? I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to open a stupid bottle, but it doesn't want to open. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Can you imagine the torture of me? Look at this. It doesn't want to open. What is it? This fucking thing doesn't want to open. Oh, fucking, there you go. That is why men rule the earth. I think there was a contest. God had a contest, and he put a jar of pickles between men and women. And he said, whoever opens this jar first gets to rule the earth. Men can open a jar of pickles, and so we rule the earth. Sorry, ladies. Better luck next time. Blah, 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 blah. What's going on? It's a whole bunch of stuff going on. But the SCOTUS decision, the consequences of this are big, right? Because if it goes the way I think it's going to go, if they nullify most or if not all of the current state laws on gun control, that takes away the government's monopoly on violence, right? The government very much wants a monopoly on violence, right? They're the only ones that want to have the legal right to use lethal force. The Constitution is written a different way. So obviously the left is looking to destroy that. So how's this going to go? I don't know. Either way it goes, there's going to be fucking huge consequences. And either way, you're going to have to be real thoughtful about how you behave in the future. But we got about another month to go. You know what I mean? This stuff like the Vegas thing worked on Donald Trump. You know what I mean? It got whatever bump stock ban. It got the red flag laws. It got that for Trump. But Trump has to think about it. Was particularly interested in his popularity ratings. The Supreme Court doesn't have approval ratings or disapproval ratings. Nobody thinks about the Supreme Court. They don't have to get reelected. They're jobs for life. So yeah, it's to read the tea leaves on this one. Is really, really tough. I'm not a Supreme Court watcher. I've never been one. I don't know anybody who is one. So we wait and see, and then we make the best decisions we can based off of what we are presented with. But let's see what else I got. I just dump all the cheap and easy. Screen shares, cheap and easy ones. This is, well, here it is. Okay, this is a good one because this fits exactly with what I've been saying, and I don't think any of this is going to get any better. Not for this year and not for a couple of years. News story out of Chicago: an older man, that's like their city council, which in this case happens to be a female, wants the city to take legal action against whoever organized yesterday's takeover at North Avenue Beach. Michelle Smith says promoters said it was open to all ages and would feature a drinking contest, boxing matches, and twerking contests. This was from, when was this from? Wait, go back. Does it have a date on it? I didn't grab the date. But the youths of Chicago are going to have an all ages drinking contest. 6 years old, yeah, sure, no worries. Boxing matches. I'm thinking that just random people getting jumped, and then when you go to complain to the cops, if you go to complain to the cops, they go, "Oh no, 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 that was a boxing match." It was a ghetto boxing match where it was 10-on-1 or 10-on-5 or 50-on-12 or whatever the fucking numbers are going to be. And of course, what summertime celebration is not complete without a twerking contest? This is America. This is America in 2022, after all. So yeah, that's going to be great. They're gonna arrest. They're going to take legal action. They're going to arrest all these good boys, and it's all gonna work out for them, right? They're going to be able to get control of this. I don't think they're going to get control of this. This was from a couple of days ago, but it's literally it's just too good to pass up. It's a Biden quote. I swear to God, in the future, no one's going to fucking think that Joe Biden was a real guy. You know what I mean? And plus, I'm seeing all these weird pictures of like politicians that look like they're wearing masks. They really do look like a weirdo mask from Hollywood. People doing those super up close photos, and you're like, is that a screen? Is it you don't know if it's photoshopped or what? This is Biden from the 10th of May. You know what I mean? Biden on responsibility for inflation. We are in power. We control all three branches of the government. Well, we don't really. You're right, Joe. You don't. You really don't. The Federal Reserve controls all three branches of government. Ultimately, maybe not the Supreme Court, but we'll have to see. We shall have to. The people behind the Reserve and their co-ethnics are the ones really in control. You're just basically you're their errand boy. You are their Shabbos goy, and they don't care about you. And to be perfectly frank, Joe, there's always another Shabbos. You got to remember, like people. I was having an argument. I still got my haircut. Arguing with the barber. I probably should not be arguing with like an old fat Italian barber because like it's scissors by your neck and stuff, and you get this guy excited. Who knows what's going to happen? And then he claims it was an accident. But I was tired a week. I did not have enough of pasta. Who knows? But anyway, he didn't stab me in the neck with the scissors. But it's going on and on with the D versus R, all this stupid shit, and I'm like, no, man. It's the dudes with the money. It's the dudes with the money. Money talks and bullshit walks. It was an easy day. Today was supposed to rain like crazy. I didn't go out and play with my log. I didn't go out and play with my stick like I did a week because it was supposed to rain. And I was like, all right, I want to be out there in the mud. I don't want to be out there in the mud. I ended up doing something else, which is probably going to make me sore as fuck tomorrow. But I'll be happy enough about it. So I ran and did a bunch of things. Got my hair cut, changed the oil in the car, shopping, everything, because I'm expecting this mega rainstorm. It rained hard for like 10 minutes, and then it was just cloudy for the rest of the day. So I'm like, no, don't go out. Don't do anything, because you don't want to get caught in a mega rainstorm. And the fucking mega rainstorm never came. It's just kind of humid now. So whatever. Okay, so now let's go. Now we got to start talking about the latest attack on Bitcoin. Yes, there was an attack. An attack on Bitcoin, which was, of course, defeated. A lot of people didn't even hear about this because it just about came to the surface, and then they stuck a fork in it and it was done. The attack was called BIP, Bitcoin Internet Protocol 119. It should have been called BIP 110, because the guy who was behind it is named Jeremy Rubin from MIT. So he's a Jew from MIT with connections to, believe it or not, you'll find this shocking, the World Economic Foundation. So he said, I spent a couple of years working on this upgrade, blah, 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 blah. And he put up a bounty. One of the things about when you want to improve Bitcoin software, you write the code and then you put a bounty on it, like a certain amount of Bitcoin. I think he was offering like 5.5 Bitcoin, which is a lot. You know what I mean? Right? Even now, that's like it's like $175,000 US. You let somebody take your code and check it. You know what I mean? You put that bounty like, here, check through this and find the flaws in it. And if you find flaws, you get to keep that 5.5 Bitcoin. Well, no one claimed the bounty, right? So, and then this guy goes to Bitcoin Miami, that shit show that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. He goes to Bitcoin Miami, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, he went on one podcast, this guy I follow on Twitter. And he's like, well, I went to Bitcoin Miami and I spent 2 years in this and I'm from MIT and I'm listening to this. And I'm like, he's a fucking Jew. Like, he's a Jew with connections to World Economic Foundation. Like, I want to scream this. But I actually restrained myself. I didn't go crazy. I didn't start being, all small hat crazy. And I was like, I know that most Bitcoin people aren't really hip to the JQ. I was like, so let's just see how this sorts itself out. And I'm watching all the responses to this guy, and I listened to one podcast he was on. It was a Spaces call, Twitter Spaces call that he was on, and he basically was like, I went to Miami. I was like, oh, a Jew went, and I'm listening to him like, oh wow, a Jew went to fucking Miami. Stop the presses. You know what I mean? So he's like, I went to Miami and I talked to a lot of different people, and I worked in this for 2 years, and so he claimed he was going to improve Bitcoin. Well, what improvements did he supposedly come up with? One of them was the idea that Bitcoin is going to be more smart contract friendly. What the fuck is that? What is a smart contract? There's contracts, right? I'm going to do something. You're going to do something. We write it down and agree to it. And if I break my word, you get some sort of damages, or I have to pay you. If you break your word, I have to, you pay me, right? That's a contract. That in itself is smart. So what the fuck is a smart contract? It's a bullshit fucking description of like an automatic thing, because if when one person breaks a contract, then you have to go to a neutral third party, you have to go to court, there's fucking court proceedings, blah, 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 blah. You have to figure out what the damages are going to be and how someone is going to be made whole made whole from the break of the contract. And this is a slow and cumbersome process, and it's really a fucking pain in the ass, and it doesn't work real well, and people they can get a judgment against them, then they don't pay the judgment. Like everybody knows the story, but that's why the courts exist, is to solve, to be a neutral third party to solve this. So smart contracts are, in theory, it's like a software program where you agree to something and I agree to something. We sign it electronically, and then we both put up X amount of Bitcoin, X amount of money, right? And if you break your word, your Bitcoin goes to me, right? If I break my word, if I fail to hold my end of the contract, my Bitcoin goes to you sort of automatically. They're trying to figure out how to make this automatic, so there's no court proceedings. It's the consequence for negative behavior is immediate. This is the idea. This stuff is now, why doesn't Bitcoin have this? Well, Bitcoin actually already does have it. The previous Bitcoin upgrade is something called Taproot. Okay, Taproot was a big deal, and it was going to, this was when it was going up last year. Taproot was going to make Bitcoin smart contract friendly and was going to drive the price to the moon and blah, 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 blah. 69,000 was just a stop along the way to 250,000. And it didn't happen. You know what I mean? One of the other improvements this guy made was that you could only receive Bitcoin from certain wallets. What's the value of that? Way back, and this was solved like walking way back in the day, like 2013, during the Mt. Gox hack, which was an exchange that stole everybody's Bitcoin way back in like 2011, 2011 or 2013, but whatever. People were afraid that they were going to get like stolen Bitcoin and it would fuck things up. So they only wanted certain safe addresses to send to them. It turned out not to be an issue, but that already exists in Bitcoin. So all of this Jewish guy with all these super upgrades to Bitcoin, all this shit already fucking exists, right? And I'm from MIT credentialism, and I attended one fucking shitty fucking conference in Miami that has no effect on anything, and so you have to do what I tell you to do. This sank without a fucking ripple. It sank without a fucking ripple. So, which is good because it should have, right? Where is it? Where is the? No, that's not it. That's. Come on. I had it. Was this it? No, that's not the one. That's not the one. Come on, bro. What's up, bro? I guess I didn't send it to myself. I guess I did not send it to myself. But Bitcoin does not need to be like these fucking shit coins. Bitcoin does not need to be like these altcoins. The other thing that happened in crypto this week was there was a altcoin, a shitcoin called Luna, Luna, like go to the moon, Luna. That there was a 40 billion with the B, $40 billion worth of Luna disappeared in 2 weeks. The price of this electronic token went from $100 on Monday to like $1 on Friday, and then by the end of the next week went to less than a penny. The people behind this, there was a Korean guy named Do Kwon and some other people were behind this, and just $40 billion with the B, $40 billion gone like this. Rug pull. Once again, everything that's not Bitcoin is a scam. Everything that is not Bitcoin is a scam. I cannot fucking emphasize that enough. That you have to. Some people, unfortunately, are going to learn this the really, really, really hard way, really brutally hard way. And in this case, this guy's case, he did. I don't know, like really, like listen. It's all from Twitter. It's but people they overshare without a doubt. They tell people talk a lot of shit online, but they also tell a lot of truth online as well. So what's this guy write? He writes, just went outside today for the first time in 4 days, broke down in tears. As someone who nearly took their own life 6 months ago, so this guy's like borderline suicidal, hearing that at least 8 people have taken their own lives since the Luna debacle is just gut-wrenching. I spoke to 200 plus people privately who lost everything. Okay, these are millennials who were hoping that they would buy this electronic token. It would go from $100 to $10,000 to $100, whatever. It was going to be the next Bitcoin. It was going to be the next thing. They were going to retire on this. They were going to have the life of their dreams on this. This is from 12th May of this year. And they got rug pulled. People lost everything. You know what I mean? How much is everything to them? I don't know. Right? I don't know. But please don't listen to me when I tell you there's Bitcoin and there's nothing else. Everything else is a fucking scam. Everything else is a scam. Everything else is a scam. Here's this is an idea that I talked about. I meant to whatever it was. Wait a minute. That's where it was. Hold on. Why did I not see that earlier? And then this meme came up. This is the BIP 119 meme. Just to briefly circle back in honor of Jen Psaki, the rusty potato, miniature potato, by the way, is actually, I think she's actually an actual leprechaun. After Jerry Rubin from MIT got blown the fuck out because he could not build any consensus. Every improvement, he already said, listen, Goy, I've improved your product. Everyone knew was already already in Bitcoin. A lot of people opposed it. He did not build consensus. Failure to build consensus is failure. I've talked about the idea of consensus governance at length, but that's that. So they did a Forrest Gump meme. And just like that, nobody is discussing BIP, Bitcoin Internet Protocol 119 anymore. It just sank without a fucking ripple. This is how Bitcoin is supposed to work. This is how consensus governance in the future will work. I'll talk about that more in a moment. But here's this. I had this for like weeks and weeks. But this relates to Twitter. This relates to the First Amendment. It crosses or covers both the First Amendment aspect and this is a private company aspect. Tweet from Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy, first man to publicly put $425 million of his company's money into Bitcoin. He now controls much more than that. He controls billions, like 3 or so billion, like 119,000, 120,000 Bitcoins. So on March 27th of this year, talking about the Elon Musk takeover of Twitter, or the idea of how Twitter can be improved. Twitter can solve the problem of scammers, right? The altcoin people, the Luna people, and spam bots if they allow real humans to post 50,000 Satoshis, at the time $20, via the Lightning Network and get verified with an orange check, not a blue check, an orange check. Then we can limit the comments and direct messages to verified accounts. Bad actors forfeit their security deposit, and Twitter monetizes malice, right? So the idea of a Bitcoin standard, put up or shut up, right? If you want to speak freely, prove that you're not a bot, prove that you're not just some low-life troll, put up or shut up. And that way smart people can have conversations without rudely being interrupted. And anybody who wants, listen, $20 is not a high hurdle, right? It's not a particularly high barrier to entry in order to get into free speech. You know what I mean? Free speech on a global platform. Put up or shut up. This is the idea. Again, this is very similar to the idea I talked about of living in a corporation that would buy a whole tons of real estate, houses, et cetera, et cetera. The corporation would own all of it, like BlackRock owns all of their developments, and Goldman Sachs owns their developments. Bitcoiners could buy an entire development, and you could live there. You could rent these houses, right? Because maybe you're going to move. Maybe you're going to stay for years. Who knows? But there'll be a list of rules you follow. You put a X amount of Bitcoin, in good faith that you're going to live in this community and you're going to follow the rules. You break the rules, you lose your Bitcoin. Simple as that. And it's a private company, and we can kick your ass out at any time you break the rules. Simple. Just like BIP 119 was defeated because it failed to achieve consensus, and it already did who knows? Was there a poison pill inside this guy's software? Was it just fucking mediocre? Who even knows? But the point of this is, it's not, oh, listen, Goy, I went to MIT, Goy. I spent 2 years on this, Goy. I was in Florida, and I went to Bitcoin Miami, which is the gayest fucking docs fest you could go to. It went nowhere, right? Fuck your credentials, fuck your special, fuck your IQ, fuck that. Build consensus, make the change. Fail to build consensus, fail. So whoever paid this guy for 2 years to work on this, you know what? I hope he got a big paycheck. You know what I mean? I hope his paycheck from the World Economic Foundation was not contingent on getting this pushed through, because it absolutely failed. It absolutely failed. And the idea, the concept, like what I just showed you, what I just put up on the screen, is a valid concept, and this is likely to go forward. Once again, James thinks exactly like a billionaire. The only difference between them and me is I don't have a couple of $1 billion. Few other differences, but largely similar in our thinking. So, what do we got? This was from our friends at Red Ice. Just a reminder, once again, a reminder, simple recitation of fact, simple, obvious recitation of fact to focus your mind on reality and not the narrative that they're trying to sell you. You don't want the narrative, you want the truth. Heinrich Palmgren on 10 May 2022, relatively short time ago, talking about Elon Musk, wealthiest man in the world, got defense contracts from Department of Defense, runs missions for NASA, developed key ingredient for COVID-19 vaccine, runs a company that is slated to blanket the world with 5G internet, pushes a fourth industrial revolution. He was the World Economic Forum's Young Global Leader in 2008, and he plays the outsider and the underdog against the system, right? That's how they sell Elon Musk to you. He's the rogue outsider. He's going rogue. No, that's Sarah Palin. He's going rogue. He's the outsider. He's a wild maverick. Oh no, that's John McCain. Whatever. So that's your guy, Elon. That's your hero, Elon, who's going to come and save you, right? Of course he's going to save you. Of course, Elon Musk, the guy who was born, whose family owns an emerald mine, is going to save you because you are a fucking, like, aren't you like some kind of fairy tale princess? Is that what you are? Is that what you are? I don't know. I think you might be. Maybe you think you are. Where's okay, so here's what the future's gonna. Here's the reality. This is again from our buddies at Wall Street Silver, which again I still think is an English, England-based Twitter account, but good observations, and we like honest, truthful observations because they help cut through the bullshit and the fog that we are constantly surrounded with, right? So when's this coming up? Come up. Come on. Here we go. This was from April 2nd, day after April Fool's. A single Tesla battery weighing 1,000 pounds requires extracting and processing some 500,000 pounds of materials. So to get the lithium out of the ground, you have to process, for every 1,000 pounds of battery, 500,000 pounds of dross. All right. At this rate, over the next 30 years, we will need to mine more mineral ores than humans have extracted over the last 70,000 years. So from the time of Cro-Magnon man, from the caveman days to today, we will have to do more mining, right, than the entire human race has ever done in order to make these stupid fucking batteries for these cars that run on coal-powered fucking electricity. Those are the numbers. And again, this is Elon Musk, the outsider, the man who's against the system, with his DoD contracts, with his SpaceX and all that stuff, right? He makes the COVID vax, all that stuff, right? He does all of that because he is an outsider. He is an outsider, but listen, you know, there are. I think mostly what I say is pretty clear, but your fantasy, and this really bothers me, that people who consider themselves right wing in their heads, they're really fairy princesses. Like you're a fairy princess that's going to be rescued by a knight in shining armor or a knight in a shiny Tesla. That's really what you think you are. You know what I mean? I can understand why you're so afraid of transgenderism because you're like fucking 3/4 of the way there. Like you're almost there in your head. Like, oh, I need to be rescued. Oh, Elon, rescue me. No wonder you're afraid of fucking homos. You know, you because you're like that far away from being one. You know what I mean? It wouldn't take much to push you over the edge. But let's see how the world is doing. A couple of weeks ago, there were food riots in Peru, beautiful Peru, where they have llamas. They have what else do they have down there? They have llamas. They have people. They have pyramids. I think they were like who was down there? The Mayans or something like that. There were a bunch of beautiful head choppers, people who chop heads off. This is from today, Sri Lanka, right? The island of silk, isn't that? I think that's what that translates into, the island of silk. Riots today and the last couple of days because no fuel, no gasoline. The former minister Ramesh, what's that? Pathinrain's house has been set on fire. So now they are burning the homes of their politicians in Sri Lanka. They've been tossing cars in the water. They're fighting with the police, a bunch of different stuff. Like I said, as the currency collapses and food and energy being the two most critical things, right? Peru had food riots. Sri Lanka has energy riots. Without these two things, there literally is no life. So the weakest economies are going to go first. The most corrupt are going to go first. I said that before. I will reiterate that. This is what's going to happen. So you're going to see stuff like this all around the world. While in America, you know, Chicago is going to have the boxing / ages drinking contest / twerking public prostitution things. Virgil Doc, Purple Heart, welcome to the show. Good evening, James. Sorry I'm late. No need to apologize, sir. Never, ever apologize. We welcome you anytime you show up. But welcome to the show. Okay, so like I said, the weakest, the most corrupt economies are going to fall first. Peru, Sri Lanka, you'll see more of this in different areas as they run out of petrol, as they can't buy food or whatever. Really weak, corrupt governments that are incompetent are going to have the most problems soonest. And there simply aren't enough security forces to contain people once they really go fucking wild. You know what I mean? A lot of people here that subscribe to the channel are familiar with Alexander Solzhenitsyn in Gulag Archipelago. I said it wrong. Archipelago, right? I want to say Archipelago. What the fuck am I talking about? Gulag Archipelago. We talked about the NKVD coming for people in the middle of the night, and Solzhenitsyn thought, you know, when the agents of the state, the organs of the state, what do you call them? Organs of the state would come in to grab somebody out of their apartment in Moscow or St. Petersburg or whatever. What would have happened if everyone would have come out of their apartments with knives and fucking cook pots and cast iron pans and beat the NKVD to death or whatever the secret police, the Chekists were. It was Solzhenitsyn's insight that the state would quickly run out of enforcers. They would not have people to enforce the terror, and the terror would have ended a lot quicker. The problem is people just don't behave that way until they're pushed to the brink, like the Sri Lankans, like the Peruvians. They're going to be pushed to the brink. In America, in Chicago, it's going to be different. The twerking contest, the burnouts, the cars in the circle, you know, doing burnouts in the circle in the middle of a street. That's going to happen. The flash robs, that's going to happen. everywhere. You know what I mean? Jonathan Pohl was on Twitter. He said like there was something about in Norway the electronic payment system went down. Whatever system they have for electronic payments at supermarkets, and there were very long lines, and I don't know, was it fucking Norway or Finland or whatever? I think it was Norway. But like you can imagine these white people, they're standing in line there, sharp looks from the corner of their eyes. Like, listen to me. There was an incident years ago in Walmart where the Walmart computers went down for some reason. And Walmart knows this. They've known this for years. They have like constant data coming in, right? And the EBT card, the electronic benefits transfer card that 45% of Black Americans have, is filled with money from JP Morgan, by the way. JP Morgan charges a fee for that to transfer the money from the U.S. taxpayer through the Federal Reserve to the tax eater, whatever, LaQuisha and her seven good boys. Walmart knows in their 24-hour stores that on like midnight of the 30th of the month, like as soon as that money hits the fucking account, these people go shopping, and Walmart can see that from when their receipts, right, the transaction receipts. Well, on one occasion, a couple of stores went down for whatever reason, and these people got frustrated, and they just left tons of foods. It's like all kind of frozen foods and stuff, all of which rotted and went. Either like it couldn't be put back. Like it's not like they just turn around and put it right back in the refrigerators or anything like that, because you can't do that for a number of different reasons. However, because they would just come back tomorrow. But what happens if the outage, if the downtime is more than a few minutes or more than a few hours? What if it's a couple of days? What if they come back tomorrow expecting everything to be working and it's not working? They're just going to take the fucking food. I've said this before. They just go in and take shit. Jonathan Pohl's like, well, in New Mexico, that happened in Albertsons, which apparently is some kind of fucking English supermarket chain. I don't know what the fuck it's doing in New Mexico, but whatever. Whatever. Maybe the sun never set on the fucking British Empire, but he says, but everybody just went to the ATM. Now imagine all of that shit goes out. What do you do now? How long before you go, fucking my kid's got to eat, and goddamn it, everybody else is already just walking out of the parking lot? How long before that happens, right? And he's like, well, in my town in New Mexico, everyone just went to the ATM and they took money out of the ATM and they paid for their groceries with cash. Yeah, well, what happens when that fails? Or what happens when that only works for 1,000 people? Then the ATM runs out of money. Then what? You know what I mean? There's 5, 7, 12, 35, 50,000 people that need food, and the kids need food. Are they going to go, well, I'll let my kids starve for 12 hours? Kids are overweight anyway. They're kind of pudgy, They're kind of like rosy-cheeked little cherubs. You know what I mean? I'll let them. It'll be good for them. They'll be disciplined. It'll be intermittent fasting. Yeah, listen, no, that's not how it's going to be. They're going to at first doing this because this is an abnormal thing for white people. They're going to be like, I don't know. They're going to feel terrible. They're going to sweat. They're going to be paranoid and whatever. They'll do it once, and they'll do it again, and then they'll do it again and do it again, and just become accustomed to it. You'll become accustomed to it. Like, fuck it. Shit don't work. I'm just leaving. Fuck it. Fuck this shit. I got to eat. Now, never mind that these people are fucking grossly overweight. You know what I mean? Living in caloric excess. They're going to take what they're going to take. You know what I mean? And if shit don't work, fucking I'm taking it anyway. Right? You've seen this in California. The people going, if you steal anything under $900 or under $1,000, it's not shoplifting anymore. Shoplifting is only $1,000 or more, right? So how soon until that spreads from California to the rest of the country, right? And then everyone's going to say, well, it's not a crime. I'm trying to feed my kids. You know what I mean? Never mind, they're going to be taking stinking fucking lobsters. You know what I mean? Forget that. Then everybody's going to be taking 13 2-liter bottles of fucking Coca-Cola, of diabetes water. All that aside, it's, oh, I'm trying to feed my kids. It's about, I need bread. You know what I mean? What does AOC say? They just try to get some bread, you know? So that's going to be that. And how are you going to sort that out? Like, how's that going to be sorted out? When the programmers who are probably from Sri Lanka, who don't understand fucking how anything works, to fuck up the software, and their cousin who just got a job at the fucking at the utilities company, at the electric company, fucking hits the wrong fucking switch and the power goes down. Man, it's going to be a fucking party. Now, all the geniuses on the fucking this on the right and the left are going to be like, no, it's a conspiracy. It's this and that. It's not a conspiracy. It's just people, total fuck ups. People who are incompetent at their jobs, poorly fucking trained, and should not be in a first world country to begin with, are going to be put in charge of first world systems, and there's going to be consequences. And this is going to roll throughout the fucking. Listen, New York City in 2021 shut down the Indian Point nuclear power plant. Used to have 4. There were 4 reactors. Then there were 3. Then there were 2. There's 1. And now there's none. Okay. If this summer, right, if it gets super hot, and it's going to get super hot, right, everybody's going to turn on their air conditioner. If there's fucking rolling brownouts or rolling fucking blackouts, not even the NYPD will be able to keep fucking control of the city. They can't keep control of the city now. Big cities all over the place. You got COVID, spring fever. You got people in the mood to fucking disrespect all fucking authority. There is going to be a lot of social unrest. There's going to be a lot of fucking social unrest. And whatever, it's going to go the way it's going to go. You need to be smart and understand that. And one, think beyond the present day, and think to a brighter future. This is why this is a positive and hopeful. The positive and hopeful segment of the show, because our friend Nayib Bukele, Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, the small Central American country which adopted Bitcoin as legal currency, co-equal with the US dollar. Here we go. The president of El Salvador, who tweets from his phone all the time, 16 May 22, planting seeds in 44 countries, 3 days to go. Bitcoin is good for the world. What the fuck is this crazy beaner, this insane tortilla person talking about? What is he talking about? Well, there's a conference, like it's an international conference of people from brown countries who want economic equity or some shit like that. It's a fairly regular conference, but there are bankers, central bankers, and political leaders from 44 different countries, all of them meeting for this fairly regular conference. It happens in different parts of the world, but it just happens to be in El Salvador in 3 days, right? So the heads of 44 central banks are going to be in El Salvador, and they're going to be learning about how El Salvador adopted Bitcoin, what legal challenges they faced, how they integrated it, blah, 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 blah. How is it all done? And the president of El Salvador is more than happy to show everybody exactly how Bitcoin is improving life in El Salvador. So we got some screenshots. Some guys are already there. Some people already there. Down in El Salvador, which is Spanish for salvation. All right. So here's the picture. You can see all the orange stuff in the background. You have a bunch of central bankers with their smartphones out in their little backpacks, right? And they're learning about what's called the Lightning Network, how you can instantly send Bitcoin payments in seconds anywhere in the world. So they're getting demonstrations of that at this conference. So what I'm telling you is Bitcoin is now being introduced to 44 countries are now being introduced to Bitcoin and what's called the Lightning Network. Okay. 44 countries are not being introduced to monarchy. They're not being introduced to right-wing authoritarianism. They're not being introduced to ethno-nationalism. All right. Bitcoin is now being injected, right? Being dangled in front of 44 different countries. There's only 195 countries on the planet Earth. So about 20% of the nations on the earth, important representatives, bankers and politicians are going to see how Bitcoin works in El Salvador for reals. Okay. This is a much, much, much bigger deal than you know. Okay. This is much bigger than you can possibly fucking understand. Because your worldview is based in shit from the 1600s or the 1800s or some fucking backwards ass shit. The future is not horses and fucking candles. I promise you, it's not fucking tallow candles and riding on horseback with a fucking 6-gun. That's not what the future looks like. You know what I mean? Or cap and bull fucking revolver. You know what I mean? Protecting your fucking gold coins. That's not what the future looks like. The future belongs to people who can master technology in the 21st century, and that is Bitcoiners. Okay, we're gonna fucking win. We are winning. We're already fucking winning. We've got El Salvador, we've got Central African Republic, and now 44 other countries. We're gonna come see how this shit really fucking works. Right? This is not what I think is gonna happen. This is what's fucking happening. And there's tons of people that used to, whatever, so I don't even know who the fuck my subscriber base is anymore. But the old dissident right and all these fucking goofballs, they're all like, you know, I was thinking about the strongman concept, and this is what's hilarious. This is part of this I borrow, of course, from, I used to subscribe to National Review way back in the days, like in the fucking 80s and 90s, early 90s. But they used to mock the left, and I use this and I'm going to use this as a way to mock the so-called dissident right, because everything you don't like, your solution is let's burn the Constitution, right? First thing, like, oh, there's a problem. Oh shit, there's a problem. Let's burn the Constitution. How the fuck is that going to solve anything, right? But on the dissident right, the extreme right, the fringe right, whatever the fuck you want to call it, the people like democracy sucks. Woo, democracy sucks. Let's burn the Constitution and pray that the guy that comes in, that the strong man that comes in, is going to fix all our problems. So I got a couple of questions for you. One, if your guy is so strong, how come he can't overcome a piece of paper? Like literally, there's a wall of paper, Constitution, right? The paper, the magic words on paper, that somehow your Superman points into that and he falls back, right? It's like kryptonite. It's like kryptonite to authoritarians, right? And then when you listen to anybody who's thought about this for more than, well, who's actually thought about this, it's like, we're going to burn the Constitution, and that will open the door for a strong man to come in. And he's going to, amazingly, his list of shit to do is going to be exactly just like your list of shit to do. And he's going to do it pronto tanto in some way. Zoo, welcome to the chat. R.I.P. Dope One. He's gonna try and respawn that motherfucker. Got 40 billion. He's looking for another 40 billion. Do I have it? I am Bitcoin only. Listen, Zoo, you are a co-ethnic of this con man of Do Kwon. And by the way, what did they buy? Like $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin? That's gone, right? All shit coins are designed to steal your fucking Bitcoin. All of them. Either to get you to put your money in them or sell your Bitcoin for them. Bitcoin only. You know I'm Bitcoin only. I'm a toxic maximalist, Quan. Sorry, Zoo. Blah, 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 blah. All you guys look alike. Yeah, I know. Of course he stole from because thieves are thieves. Understand that thieves are thieves. There are always many Koreans. Zoo in the chat. He stole from Koreans too. Many Koreans want him arrested. Listen, I hope they can get him arrested. You know what I mean? I think that's unlikely. Japan had big scandals like this in the fucking 80s. All that guys got away with it, and I suspect Do Kwon will get away with it. Because with $40 billion in bribe money, that's generational wealth to Korean judges, prosecutors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's how the world fucking works. You know what I mean? So I would not, I don't know what the chances are that he gets, that they fucking throw him underneath the jail in fucking Seoul, South Korea, but I'm thinking the chances are slim. However, the strong, like to go back to circle back, as Jen Psaki likes to say, every strong man is suppressed by like 13 pages of paper, U.S. Constitution. All we got to do is burn that, and everything will be perfect. And here's why people like me can't stand people like you, because Antifa wants to burn the fucking Constitution, and you want to burn the Constitution. I understand, right? Especially at this point in my life, I understand that the world is not perfect, America is not perfect, and the Constitution is not perfect. I even understand democracy is not perfect. And I've said this before, and I hopefully this will fucking cause an aneurysm in some people's brains, because I really pray sometimes to cause aneurysms. Democracy is the best system of human governance. It's not the perfect system. Listen to me. Listen, use your fucking ears. It is the best system. It is the best of a bad bunch of systems, right? The reason why democracy has slain the god kings and the pharaohs and the fucking all the rest of it, the tribal chieftains, is because it's the best system. Doesn't mean it's a perfect system. And it doesn't mean, by the way, your happiness is not the fucking measure of how fucking successful a system of human governance is. By the way, that's an important point for all you people who claim to be humble Christians. Your happiness is not the measure. That's not the fucking actual measure. However, anyway, democracy is the best of a bad group of systems. And it's old and creaky. It's about 2,500 years old. Adolf Hitler. Back from the dead. How's this going? AH? Welcome to the show. Man, I apparently my show now reaches into the afterworld. Fucking dude, I feel like fucking super powerful. Adolf Hitler. Some guy who works for the federal government. Probably. Anyway, democracy being the best of a group of bad systems, right? It's the best. I didn't say it's the one that's going to make you happiest. And again, your happiness, not the measure of your personal fucking happiness, is not the measure of the world. You think it is because you're a solipsistic cunt. But that's not my problem. Democracy is the best system. A decentralized approach to solving problems is the best system. Okay? Like I said, it's old and creaky, 2,500 years old. It's got all kind of flaws. Money fucks with it. Obviously, when someone gets control of the monetary system, that warps incentives and warps all sorts of behaviors. Not arguing that. That's all true. However, there is no better system. You can't name it. You can't describe what it looks like. You don't even know what parts it has. You know what I mean? Like simply getting up in the morning going, God, democracy sucks. While you're sitting in the lap of democracy and enjoying the fruits of democracy, I find a little fucking annoying. But whatever, you do you. So that Do Kwon rug pulled how many people? You know what I mean? I don't know. You know, like I said, I showed those tweets earlier. Somebody said there's like been at least 8 suicides that this guy knows of because people lost everything. The less you have, the more, the less damage you can take, right? The whole idea of we need to burn the Constitution in order to let a strong man in, and then the strong man's going to fix all the problems, is you have no fucking ideas. Like, oh God, we really hope this fucking guy comes in, and we really, really hope that he has the same agenda as we have. And we really fucking hope that somehow he doesn't change his mind ever. And he builds an institution that keeps his ideas going. An institution is like a constitution, but it was except one guy made it, right? Instead of a bunch of guys made it. That's your fucking idea. Like, oh fuck, I hope this works. That's where you are. You're desperate and fucking weak. And that's a big part of the reason why no one is attracted to your ideology, because on an emotional level, on a deep psychological level, everyone knows you're like, you got the dice and you're like, daddy needs a new pair of shoes. And like, you're just rolling the dice, man. It ain't gonna work, and everyone knows it's gonna work. And in addition to that, you're saying, "Oh, see all the shit that you've lived by, that you enjoy for the last 200 years. We're gonna take that from you." Nobody wants shit taken from them. If you could really do what you claim you could do, what the communists claim they could do, communists are like, "Oh man, what do we have communism? Communism is perfect and scientific. We will make justice. We will make prosperity. We will do this. We will do that. We will the workers will control the means of whatever fucking stupid shit they say." Except they never, like, okay, all right, communist dudes, all right, Lenin, Marx, dudes, what's all right, go, let's rock out, let's see what you got. And the first thing they always say is, first we have to burn down everything. First we have to burn down the existing system. Why? I mean, if your ideas are so good, so compelling, if you have the answers to all the fucking human problems, why can't you just go over there, like in an empty space, in an empty field, and build fucking perfect? Right? Adolf Hitler, I am not a federal agent. And that's exactly what a Fed would say, Adolf Hitler. That's exactly what a Fed would say. Why can't you go over there in an empty field and build perfect? No. First, I got to burn down good. Why do you have to burn down good in order to build perfect? All right, you're an enemy of the state. We have to kill you. You know what I mean? Get in the gulag. Like, so that's it. You go like, well, that's the communists. God damn it. You've encapsulated communism in 5 sentences. Well, that's you too. Like, okay, all right, listen, right-wing authoritarian dudes, I'm going to my right. It's probably not your right. I should probably go this way. This way would look like to your right. Build your right-wing super state. Oh no, first we got to burn down democracy. Why? Why you got to, like, if your shit is really as good as you claim it as it is, like, just go build it. Just go build your fucking whatever fascist authoritarian super state, and everyone will just abandon democracy because it's shit. Right? Nobody says, oh, let me see, price of a new Lexus is $68,000. Price of a horse and buggy, $1,000. I'm going to buy a horse and buggy, and I'll just take a horse and buggy to work, right? I'll let the money I'll save on gas. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have to register the car. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have to pay those fucking Lexus mechanics $175 an hour for service. I'll just clippity-clop. Down the fucking road I go like an Amish cocksucker. Why don't you do that? You know why? Because horses and buggies suck. Right? It's way better to be in a big-ass fucking Lexus with fucking techno everything and leather fucking seats and sat nav and fucking 2 climate controls, your fucking cool breeze on your head and hot warm air on your feet, right? The Lexus is way better than the horse and buggy. You don't have to smell horse shit. It goes faster, right? It's, come on. So why don't you build perfect, right? You can't. First, we're going to listen, James. We just got to burn that. See this thing, this Constitution? We're just going to burn this. Once we burn this, every good thing will happen. No. That's why Americans hate both of you. You know what I mean? Your answer to every problem is burn the Constitution? Like, what's 2 + 2? Burn the Constitution? No. The answer is not burn the Constitution. If you could really do what you claim you could do, go do it over there. Go do it over there. And if it's so good, we'll beg to get in. But you can't do it. You just can't do it. If the main thing holding back your ethno-state, your fascist, authoritarian super state, whatever the fuck you think whatever you think you're going to fucking make, right? And this goes for all those dopey BAP people, Bronze Age pervert people, all these fucking dumb fucks. If you could really do that, right, you wouldn't have to burn the Constitution. You know what I mean? But even let's say, for the sake of argument, We're like, you know what? That is a great fucking idea. Fuck this democracy shit. Let's burn the Constitution. Boom. We light the match, burn the Constitution. Okay, now we got fascist super state. You're gonna do whatever. You got your 37-point fucking agenda, whatever the fuck you think that is. What happens when you have a problem that isn't burn the Constitution? Right? Like you have to invent a new technology, or there's a drought or a flood. Like, what about that? Like, what happens when you face a problem which is not let's burn what existed before? What happens when you face a problem that's a real fucking problem that you have to fucking solve? Now we find out that what the emperor doesn't really have any clothes, right? That you're not really a problem solver, and you never were. Now, most people are smart. They're not smart enough instinctively to know that, but instinctively they know that giving up what they have for a promise of something else, because the communists always promise fucking, they're long on promise and short on delivery. Oh, we're going to give you land, peace, and bread, and what you get is a fucking gulag and a bullet in the back of the fucking head, right? But at least they're smart enough to bullshit enough people that are like, yeah, I'll get a farm and we wouldn't have to go to war and whatever. No, you wouldn't have to go to war, but you'd just be running from the KGB or the fucking NKVD while they fucking pop fucking 7.62 by fucking 39 rounds into the back of your fucking skull. Then throw you in a fucking ditch. Judas Fleischai, back from synagogue. Judas Fleischai, I don't know if you know this, but Adolf Hitler is with us. So you're Orion, he's Orion. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe you guys could you could build a bridge. You could build a bridge to the 21st century. Adolf Hitler. How did you even get to this channel? I'm not sure who Adolf Hitler really is. I wonder which stock account of my actual subscribers is Adolf Hitler. Now, this is not actually the Constitution. This is just my show notes. Yeah. So yeah, essentially, the let's burn the Constitution crowd of midwits. You know what I mean? You're at best you're midwits. Your best idea is, I don't know, maybe this will work, and if it does, hopefully it'll last the rest of my lifetime. You don't think about the future or whatever, the homeland for white children, because outside of your lifetime, you're like, I don't know, hopefully we get a good king or a good authoritarian guy, and shit goes good for me until I croak, and then fuck it, everybody's on their own. And that type of super self-centered, super selfish worldview is not popular. You might find that strange. Like, what do you mean? Everyone doesn't love you? No, everyone doesn't love you. I fucking newsflash. This might be news to a lot of you. Not everyone loves you. In fact, most people probably don't even like you. So what else? Oh yeah, the California church shooting. What the Cali Chinky church shooter. You know, what's his name? Jonathan Poll's like. I think I talk about like physical safety, and you got to be aware of your environment, and crazy shit's going to happen. And I think a lot of people go, "Oh no, I don't go to Newark Airport like you do. I'm not in the city of Newark, New Jersey. I'm not in Philly. I'm not in Baltimore. I'm not in New York City. I'm not where you are. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, you're in a hostile environment. Yeah, you got to have your head on a swivel and be aware. Not so much head on a swivel, but you know." You have to be aware of your environment. There's dangerous people. I live in the country. I live in Okefenokee, which, by the way, I was in the country. I drove through the country not that long ago. I drove up to Syracuse, New York, which Syracuse is a dump, but the drive up there is gorgeous, man. It's really 17 to 86 to fucking 81 or something like that, or 1781 to 86. Really fucking pretty, like so fucking pretty. Gorgeous. Like spring is just like here it's late spring, but up there it's like early-ish spring. So all the green on the trees is like really like bright green, and I was going early enough so that you could watch the sunlight slant through the fucking valleys of the fucking mountains and shit. Really very, very nice. Lovely fucking drive up there. Like I said, Syracuse kind of a dump, but whatever. It was a crazy week. Crazy week. Because earlier in that week, Earlier in that week, this is where I think things are going to kick off. I'm on coming across from New York going into New Jersey on the George Washington Bridge, right? So there's a dude. It turned out it was a black dude. It's like a young black kid, like tall, skinny black kid on like a. He was on some kind of Harley Softail. I don't know. It was a Softail. It wasn't a Softail Deuce. It wasn't a Springer Softail. It was like a Harley Softail. Had those big ass ape hanger fucking handlebars and blah 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 blah. So the traffic's moving like this. If you're ever going to GWB, you know it doesn't move that fast. And there's a couple of over, kind of like there's some apartment buildings over one area. So anyway, the kids whacking the fucking. All fucking Harley guys do this, and it annoys the shit out of me. They're just whacking the fucking throttle. And I'm like, and it's a mild day. It's like 65 degrees or whatever. And I must have like looked back. I just wanted to see where I heard where he was. I want to see where he was, what this guy's going to do. Maybe he saw the expression on my face like I wasn't super impressed. So he comes around me, like now he's on on the driver's side of my fucking car, right? And my window's open. And mind you, the brother was stylish. He had this very retro 70s full face helmet that was purple with like a gold fucking stripe or gold like lightning bolt. Not the lightning bolt, like like almost like I thought about the Los Angeles Rams helmet. Anyway, so he's got this cool fucking helmet, and he's wearing some kind of fucking vest, not a gang vest, not a leather vest, but like a fucking padded vest. And he's wearing Converse Chucks, those canvas sneakers. I hated them when I was a kid. But anyway, he pulls up alongside me. He goes, "You got a problem?" And now he yells it at me through a full face helmet, but I know what he's saying because I drove sport bikes for years and years. So he's like, "You got a problem?" And the traffic moves, so he falls behind me. Then it rolls up again. He goes like, "You got a problem?" And I'm looking at him and I'm going, "This ends. This is the way it ends. You're in the hospital or you're dead, and I'm in fucking Rikers Island." Like I didn't say that, but I'm looking at him. I'm like, "Here's how it works." Even though I drive a small car, my car is only like 2,800 pounds, but that motorcycle is only 650 pounds. And once I knock you off it, I'm gonna fucking run you over. I'm going to take out the fucking jack handle at the back of my car, and I'm going to beat you till you stop fucking moving. Now, if you get up, I'm going to fucking face mask you from that fucking helmet, drop you to the ground, and beat the back of your neck with this fucking iron pipe until you stop moving. And I thought to myself, nope, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to spend any time in Rikers Island or in prison. So again, the traffic shifts and moves, and I'm like trying to keep like a blank face. And he comes up and he's like, "Are we good? Like, are we good?" I was like, "Yeah, we're good, bro. We're good, bro. You just fucking run right along." But I thought to myself, this kid's like way too excited. Like I don't know what black biker fantasy thing he's going through in his head, but listen to me. Real life is not the movies. Car versus motorcycle, car always wins. Always wins. Always. Stop believing the shit you've seen in fucking Hollywood. I could take out 10 fucking guys on bikes with my little fucking Toyota. I promise you I could do that. So don't be a crazy retard. Don't believe your own fucking hype. You know what I mean? And then, of course, he goes past me, and again, he's whacking the fucking throttle, making a shit ton of noise. Like, whatever, kid. Good luck to you. I hope you make it to the end of the fucking season without somebody fucking making you a greasy red smear on the West Side Highway. Adolf Hitler, good night. I have work in the morning, except for everyone in the Jewish oligarch in the chat. Cheers, Adolf. I guess I'll see you again next week. So anyway, don't be a crazy retard, okay? Everyone's in a kind of a little bit of an insane mood. I don't think a lot of people understand the difference between reality and online, and you need to expect abnormal behaviors. And that's why I say be aware of your fucking environment, see problems before they develop, and just get away from them. Just get away from them. There's nothing that's worth it. We don't control the police, the courts, or the prisons. And you don't want to end up in that system because it's going to go badly for you. Most of the time, it's going to go badly for you. So don't. Think about how you're going to react to provocations before you get provoked, because you don't want to end up being like, like the Buffalo kid's a mental case, but whatever, man. You know what I mean? You don't want to be the one fucking story that they scoop up out of fucking nowhere to make it a national news story, because you will never recover from that. You know what I mean? I mean, you're not going to recover from that. Anyway, so where are we? We're at like 123, 4 viewers. I remember thinking like 2 years ago that how crazy I used to sound. I was like, yeah, hyperinflation, people are going to go nuts, and blah, 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 blah. And when gasoline was $2 or $1.99 a gallon, and, like nothing seemed to be kicking off, you're like, oh, he's crazy. He's just some fucking guy who has low economic status and lives in a 1-bedroom apartment in New Jersey. Now you're looking at $5 fucking gasoline and people acting fucking like lunatics everywhere. And you're like, oh shit, man, he ain't so fucking crazy. I'm looking at my old videos. I'm getting a lot more likes and a lot more views than I used to get. The crazier shit gets out there, the more sane I'm going to seem. And for those of us that are toxic Bitcoin maximalists, right? It's Bitcoin or die. That's it. I don't know what is the alternative? Like, do you really think a strongman's going to come up, defeat the Federal Reserve Corporation? Really? Like, he's going to how do you gain enough power? You go, I'm going to nationalize the Federal Reserve, and nobody pops your fucking melon, right? You don't get Dallased like JFK or whomever, right? Like, how do you think you rise that high? Like, a guy's going to snake his way all the way through, and he's gonna play the game, right? Jonathan Paul, welcome to the show. It's like, well, dude, what are you doing? It's like, well, it's only 9:00 where you live. You live in the fucking woods. There isn't even woods out there. It's just dirt. Just put big piles of dirt and cactus in New Mexico. But you think somebody's going to snake his way all the way to the fucking to the apex of fucking power, and no one's going to know that he really, really, really wants to destroy the Federal Reserve. He's going to take away the money printer from the Federal Reserve, and all the 535 members of Congress, all the Senate, and the fucking House of Representatives. We're all going to get there and go, oh shit, sorry, we'll do our constitutional duty now, and because if we don't, Mr. Strongman over there is going to fucking do whatever, give us a helicopter ride, right? And then all this is going to be sorted out, and they're going to burn the Constitution, and then whatever, the paradise will fucking appear. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. If I'm doing probabilities, and I'm not a mathematician, right? But if I'm doing probabilities, Bitcoin succeeding is a much higher probability than the scenario I just described. You know what I mean? Like, let's burn the Constitution. Authoritarian man will come up. He'll have the same agenda we have. He'll fix all the problems in like 3 weeks, while we just sit back and cheer. And then, and then life will be grand. It is a cool 91 degrees Fahrenheit there. Yeah, I believe it. I got my air conditioner on now. Not that it's so hot, but it's humid as fuck out here. We were expecting super rain, but we only just got a little bit of rain. Oh, the other thing, I bought an octopus. I bought a frozen octopus because I want to grill some octopus. I've never done that before, but I was like, fuck it, I'm buying an octopus. I bought a frozen octopus. I got to figure out how to thaw octopus, prep it, and then I'm probably going to be grilling octopus next week. So that I'm going to look next week or a week or two, whatever. It's in the freezer. It's an octopus from Thailand. I think it's from Thailand. It better be from Thailand. Anyway. So that's my, there's that. Oh yeah, fucking, I got those, I got chicken breasts, marinating in a basil infusion. Now I'm thinking like a Mediterranean. I'm thinking about food again. But yeah, the fact that you think a hero is going to, like, we burn the Constitution, your hero appears because the Constitution, just 13 sheets of paper is all it takes to hold your guy down. Right? It's all it takes. All it takes to hold a strong man down is 13 sheets of paper. Some fucking strong man you got, right? You're fucking midwits. Oh, geez, I hope it works. Let's light the end of the document. You can laugh all you want about the magic words on a piece of paper, but so far it's working. It's working better than anything else out there. So let's see how it goes, right? That 44 countries are going to El Salvador to see how Bitcoin works is a much, much bigger deal than you are being told. We know the media exaggerates, makes big things small and small things big, and distorts everything. You don't see a clear picture of what's going on. Like I said 2 years ago when I started talking about hyperinflation and blah, 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 I was a crazy person. Now you're paying $5 for gasoline, and there's food riots in Peru and fuel riots in Sri Lanka, and there'll be more shit as the summer comes. And the Chicago drinking, twerking, boxing festivals that are just going to randomly take place in Chicago, and the police will be able to stop it. It's going to be 2022 is going to be lit. I said it was going to be lit, and it's going to be fucking lit. I don't. It's by the way, this is not my own fucking unique insight. Other people have said similar things to what I'm saying, right? And I'm not particularly happy that it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. You know, Jonathan Paul, like you said, you used to walk past the church where that chink shot the fucking. I don't know. Was it mainland China hates fucking Taiwan, or was it the guy got a beat down by Negroes or something? Supposedly he got beaten within an inch of his life, and then he decided to shoot up a church. So angry at God because he was a victim? I don't fucking know. Or is it mainland China hates Taiwan, China, the Taiwanese? I don't know. But you sit there thinking, I'm a good person. I just want what's best for everyone. Nothing bad will ever happen to me. Nothing bad will even come near me. But something bad came very near you, or very near those you care about. So you could blow this bubble back up again. Like, no. It was just a random thing. It's a lightning strike over there. It's not going to happen again. I know. A chink shot some other chinks. Chopstick Americans. Probably. By the way, support for the Second Amendment among Chopstick Americans is lowest, I think, among any demographic. Even lower than basketball Americans. So was it a China versus Taiwan thing? I don't fucking know. Was it? They say that shooter had gotten badly beaten up by someone. I doubt he was badly beaten up by Taiwanese. I mean, it's possible, but that would make it a kung fu movie, right? 6 guys, chop, 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 kick, 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 elbow, elbow, elbow. Oh, we showed you our kung fu style. And then he goes away and comes back with an AK-47 and says, fuck you, I'm going to show you gun fu. That's probably not how it happened. However it happened, I don't know. But what saves you from bad things is awareness that bad things can happen anywhere at any time. And you need to see the bad thing before it happens and get the fuck out of the way. And being some kind of prepared for it. Okay, what if this happens? What am I going to do? What if that happens? What am I going to do? You know, and the answer should probably not be. The answer should probably be run away. Right now, it should be run away. Because as I said earlier, we do not control the police, the courts, or the prisons, and you don't want to be caught up in that system because you don't know how it works. You're going to be a victim. And the rest, you're gonna wish you were dead every 10 seconds of every day for the rest of your fucking life. Jonathan Pohl in the chat. There are Asian gangs in California. Yes, they don't generally shoot up churches though. They shoot up places where gangs hang out, pool halls, bars, nightclubs, etc. I know there are Asian gangs. I know, in fact, the drive-by shooting is an Asian gang invention. The American drive-by shooting, not invented by basketball Americans, but in fact invented by Asian Americans. Fun fact. Fun fact for crime and gun violence. Gun violence in America. So I am unaware that the Asians shoot up houses of worship. Shooting up houses of worship, primarily the province of one Abrahamic religion practitioner against other Abrahamic religion practitioners. So yes, Baruch Goldstein. We mentioned him last week. Marshall Law, the right-hand man of Norman Hobbs, pointed out that Baruch Goldstein, I think in 1976, went into the Al-Aqsa Mosque with an AK and some hand grenades and killed a bunch of shot and killed a bunch of Muslims while they were praying. And in response, Islam gave half the mosque to the Jews to use for their religious ceremonies. Jonathan Poll in the chat. True. Yes, of course it's true. What would be the point? I am not getting paid to lie. If I was getting paid to lie, I would have a better apartment. I would have much better material circumstances than I currently have. But I do not. I do not have excellent material circumstances, and that's primarily because I am not paid to lie. I'm paid to drive boxes from point A to point B. In the chat, Zoo, the shooter was also Taiwanese, probably sympathetic to the mainland. I don't know. Now we have a dispute. Jonathan Poll says it's a Chinese guy shooting Taiwanese. Zoo, who is himself, by the way, a chopstick American, claims it is Thai versus Thai. How will this play out? To be honest, we don't know, because all this stuff is going to be memory hold. It's not that big of a deal. We all know non-white shooters do not get any play, right? The New York City subway shooter down the memory hole. The Filipino kid in Washington, D.C. with the poster of Yaqub, the African scientist who created the white race, down the memory hole, and all the other Negro spree shooters. Every night, listen, this weekend there was probably like 6 fucking spree shootings between fucking New York, Philly, and fucking Newark outside of strip clubs. You know what I mean? Like, to quote the great Adnan Wyatt, Pookie and Ray Dunn got into it outside the strip club. You know what I mean? But it's not counted as a mass shooting because there were less than 3 dead. There could be 17 victims, but only 2 of them died. So it's not a mass shooting, right? In the chat, okay. Orange County, Jonathan Poll, Orange County paper says shooter was from the mainland. Real fucking Chinese. Zhu. He wrote his Romanized name is in Taiwanese instead of mainland is Hanyo Pinyin. Jonathan Poll, he is 68 years old and could have come to the U.S. before 1949. It is unusual that people that old commit violent acts. A lot of physical violence drops off after 45 years of age, unless it's a defensive thing. So, I don't know. Listen, like the Buffalo kid, there's 2, 3, 10 tantalizing threads. Like, what does this mean? This doesn't add up. That doesn't make sense. And the pursuit of this always holds out some promise. Like, oh, if I just get all these details that I understand this, then that'll do something for me. It really won't. You know what I mean? Oftentimes you think if I just understand the problem, then I can make it go away. And I'm telling you, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Understanding the problem doesn't make the problem go away. Seeing the problem before it develops and you getting the fuck out of there is effectively making the problem go away. But there's going to be a lot of fucking random violence and a lot of big group violence Summertime is here, you know. So and shit's gonna pop off. You have a lot of very, very, very marginal people from a lot of different groups, and they're gonna express their unhappiness about the state of America. Paul and Zoo in the chat. Taiwan is part of China, so newspapers saying he is Chinese immigrant is ironically offending Taiwan, although factually still true. Jonathan Pohl, most of the Chinese in that area are either from Taiwan or Vietnam. Yeah, it's weird. There's Vietnamese restaurants here in Jersey that are run by Chinese, and I'm like, you're not real fucking Vietnamese. I want to talk to somebody named fucking not Trang, not Sin Lee. You know what I mean? The fuck, give me a real proper, black pajamas Viet Cong dude in the fucking kitchen. I don't want some guy who fucking grew up in fucking Fujian province. Spent 9 minutes in fucking Ho Chi Minh City, then comes to America. Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? When I want my spring roll, I want a proper fucking spring roll. Right? I haven't had those in a while. Anyway, I should stop in there. I should stop at one of these noodle joints around near where I live. Anyway, look at me. I'm going for like an hour and 39 minutes. And as I mentioned earlier, I have this idea about marinating chicken breasts in basil infused water, which I've been doing for, it's got to be at least 3.5 hours now. Stop doing it before the show, because you always got to food is life. Everything else is just waiting. Let's be honest. So you have look, the fucking viewer count's going up. Is that fucking bots? Is that feds? What the fuck? Every time I see the fucking viewer count going up, I think to myself, well, no, I got to keep going. Look, I got more fucking viewers. God damn it. Well, listen, luckily there's a little more alcohol left, so I can probably keep going on the Asian thing. I don't know. What are we going to say about Asians? I don't know. Jonathan Pohl, a quarter of the refugees from Vietnam to Orange County were ethnic Chinese that left after China attacked Vietnam in 1979. Very big attack. 600,000 Chinese army troops against approximately 75,000 Vietnamese troops. The Vietnamese thoroughly kicked their fucking ass, mostly because they had been fighting since the mid-50s, from the French to the Americans to the Chinese, and a relatively small number of combat hardened veterans can, project a lot more force than 600,000 fucking parade ground fucking soldiers marching around with wooden imitation of fucking rifles versus dudes who were fucking swapping shots with the French and the U.S. Marines and the U.S. Army. You know what I mean? Those fucking guys, the ones who lived through that, and lived through the napalm and the B-52 bombings and all that shit, you ain't spooking those fucking guys. Those guys don't get fucking spooked. And again, you got some 600,000 parade ground Chinese think they're going to march in and it's a numbers game. No, it didn't work out. You know what I mean? Vietnam humiliated China, and I think China threatened to nuke them. Allegedly, China threatened to nuke them, and Vietnam was like, fuck, we don't have nukes. And then Beijing demanded X amount of territory as like a symbolic fucking act of submission. And Vietnam was like, fuck it, they're going to nuke us. We better fucking give them. They changed the border somehow, but it's supposedly that's all a big secret. Relatively big secret. Anyway, so that's the Vietnam War after the Vietnam War. China fucking lost. China sent more guys than we did, faster than we did, and lost way more than we did. They finally signed a peace treaty in 1991. Well, that's lovely. And now today, all the factories from China are being moved into Vietnam. this is how bizarre it all is. All the factories that were moved from in the 1980s from America to China to boost the stock prices of various different publicly traded companies in the United States and boost the profits of Wall Street by moving manufacturing to China. Instead of paying an American at the time in the 80s or 90s $15 or $16 an hour to manufacture something, you could pay someone in China $1.50 or $1.60 to manufacture the same thing because the tooling, everything was moved over there. The Chinese now have moved those factories into Vietnam. Okay, so the Vietnamese now are the new slave labor class, and however, these factories require a shit ton of fucking energy to run, and you might find this surprising, but Exxon is in Vietnam right now building fucking power plants to power the new factories where all your clothing, your shoes, electronics, etc., are going to be fucking made in Vietnam because it's cheaper. The economy is worse in Vietnam than it is in China. Now, China has a million fucking problems, but Exxon is building power plants in Vietnam to power the factories that will exploit the slave labor, that will continue to fucking give you the lifestyle that you've grown accustomed to here in the United States. Will they make it to Burma? You know what I mean? Will the Vietnamese generally grow so fucking wealthy that they'll have to shift the fucking factories to Burma, or will the whole system collapse before that? I don't know. I have no fucking way of knowing that. But the Burmese or the fucking Cambodians who ran for the Khmer Rouge and lived in the fucking woods that literally ate fucking spiders to fucking survive. So a program with fucking Burmese said they ran from the Cambodians said they fucking ran from they ran into the countryside. You know what I mean? To escape the fucking communists, and they had no food. And they would catch these fucking spiders and they would fucking eat spiders. Life in Cambodia, right? The killing fields, all that stuff. There are levels of agony and fucking human degradation that most people cannot imagine. And even if you described it to them, even if you showed it to them, they wouldn't believe it. Well, whatever. We'll see how it goes. Jonathan Pole, giant industrial boom in Bangladesh when? I don't know. Like, you know, if Exxon or fucking whatever, like, who's the biggest energy company in America? Like, you know, what was the one? What was the one that they made the big deal of in the 90s? Enron. And Enron comes back. You know what I mean? Enron comes back in the fucking 90s and builds whatever fucking nuclear power plants in fucking in Bangladesh. You'll know what's going to happen soon because those factories got to keep running 24/7. You got to have the lights on. You got to have this shit. You know, when I talked about driving up to Syracuse, but a lot of places I drive past on the way up there, these enormous fucking Amazon has these enormous, ginormous fucking warehouses, like bigger than anything I've ever seen. Like you just see this, they put up these concrete slabs, like the walls go up and the fucking roof goes on. And I know it's Amazon because it has that stupid curved arrow thing. You know what I mean? Somewhere on the fucking building, you know. Because I drive to airfields and stuff, and there's a lot of hangars, I have to look at aircraft hangars, like what hangar am I going to? Aircraft people, AOG people, people involved in aerospace. There's tons of hangars around the fucking airfield. You got to find the right one. So there's big letters like G5, 87, 81, whatever the fuck it is. It's on the corner of a building. So I look at the roof of buildings not because I'm interested in, is it a peaked roof? Is it a flat roof? I don't give a fuck about that. I'm just looking for what building do I need to find on this fucking airfield. And so I look at buildings now differently than I did in years prior. You know what I mean? I'm looking at what is the exact fucking place I need to be at. And so corporate logos are one thing, but they tell you something. When I noticed that the biggest fucking building in the last 75 miles I drove past was an Amazon fucking warehouse, that tells me a lot. You know what I mean? It says a lot that's where the money, that's where the effort, that's where the fucking power is, and you need to pay attention to that. Maybe you don't need to pay attention to that, but there's things here that if you just think, well, that's where the trucks park. You know what I mean? There's more to it than that. There's a lot going on. Where the incentive is, where the financial incentive is, that's what's driving a lot of things in that area, whether it's upstate New York, whether it's Bangladesh, whether it's fucking Vietnam, whether it's Manchuria, wherever the fuck it is. You need to look at the real drivers of behavior and activity and understand who's doing that. That will help you a lot in understanding how the fucking world works. But first, we got to burn the Constitution. First, we burn the Constitution, and strongman comes, fixie all the problems, and and then paradise is at hand. I've been assured of this by many people, some of whom are probably receiving checks from the federal government. Other people are just fucking midwits who, I said this, how many months have I been saying this thing? What's your system that's better than democracy? And I hear crickets, nothing, not a fucking word. When I was a kid, I said this before. My father was mentally ill, and there were times when there was no one but my father and I, and it was like fucking. This was like I don't want to fucking blackpill people, but it's like no one's in the house. Fucking there's lights trying to get the fucking ceiling. Holes are being punched in the wall for no reason. I have to fucking wake up at 3 a.m. and mop fucking floors and shit and answer questions. When I was a kid at like 10 years old, I don't know was not an answer. That was not a. If I answered I don't know, someone else in my family would pay for that negatively. So there was a lot of stress. It was a lot of fucking stress. When I was 10, 11, 12 years old, I don't know is not an answer. I heard that when I was a kid. I don't know is not a fucking answer. And for all these cunts on fucking social media, I posed the question, why does democracy rule the earth? And you don't answer. Now, if I was in the same room with you, I would make you answer. I would find that you would fucking answer. Believe me, I would make you. I'm not going to describe what I would do, but I would make you fucking answer. You think like you're going to sit there like a fucking the turd that you fucking are and just not answer. Like, well, trust me, that was not an option for me. I don't know was not an answer. And the price wasn't paid by me. The price was going to be paid by someone else. So I ask harsh questions you can't fucking answer because you're a fucking punk. And I'm not fucking kidding you. Your fantasies are just that. Fucking, I could do this all fucking day. I could bitch smack these cocksuckers from fucking Richard Spencer to the whatever fucking BAP all fucking day long. All fucking day long and twice on Sunday. And the reason why is because what I used to think was a really negative thing is in the end, looking at this point of my life, I'm thinking it was actually it's fucking great training, man. It was like, it's fucking beautiful. And looking back at it, weirdly, you know what I mean? I paid a price, but it got me where I am today. You know what I mean? And when I look at other people, you're fucking lost in your dumbass fantasy world where you think you're fucking Rapunzel. You mean like you're just gonna like you're locked in a tower and then the knight in shining armor is gonna come save you. Nobody's gonna come fucking save you. No one is coming for you. You don't know that yet. Oh, if we just burn the Constitution, Superman will come. No, that's not how it works, you dumb fuck. But You'll learn the hard way. You know what I mean? And I will laugh. I swear to God, I will fucking laugh. Um, yeah. I try to tell people as much truth as I possibly fucking can. I don't want to. I don't want to like. I want to try and focus you on what's fucking important, and not be too much of a fucking dick. I realize I'm something of a dick, but I don't want to be too much of a dick. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not doing this to fucking make money. A 49 fucking subscriber fucking base is, I'm not doing this to fucking make money. I want people to hear me and understand that really harsh things are coming. You need to focus clearly on what works and what's fucking real and what's going to protect you and those you care about, not just today, but in the future. And putting your faith in the fucking small hats who print counterfeit fucking money and buy real fucking assets, not just in America, but around the globe, and have fucking enormous fucking power. That a direct fucking frontal assault on them is not going to fucking work, okay? And your fantasy that, again, some strong man's going to come and fucking fix this shit is also not going to fucking work. They have full spectrum fucking dominance, right? You need to be smarter, and you need to do something that's going to fucking, well, whatever. You need to be smarter than you are, okay? And that emotional fucking attraction you have to, oh, would you just wait till daddy comes home and he's gonna fucking spank you? That's not how. That's the good. Whom you think the good guys are not the good guys, and they're not coming to fucking rescue you, all right? You have to be an active participant in your own fucking rescue. All the shit you talk about fucking the future and fucking, long-term things, things beyond your lifetime. Well, let's see if you really fucking believe that. You know what I mean? Act that way. Anyway, I'm ranting. Now I'm fucking ranting. My fucking veins pumping in the side of my neck. It's almost 2 hours. 2 fucking hours. 2 hours, and I didn't even kill one. It's one crappy little bottle of Romanian. It's actually pretty good. It's like a $6 bottle of wine. It's actually pretty good. It's Romanian Pinot Grigio. But I'm trying to drink less because, one, it's good for my liver. I wake up less hungover. That's two benefits, right? Short-term and long-term benefit. And it's cheaper in the long run. $6 fucking bottle of wine. But expect warm weather to bring more fucking violence, more fucking insanity, higher gas prices, and people getting fucking crazy. For my personal anecdotes, the stuff you're going to see on social media, and if you watch you watch TV screens, you're going to see it as well. So, and be smarter. Be smarter than you are. Like think of what would somebody smarter than me do, and then do that fucking thing. That's a great fucking mental exercise. If somebody was smarter than me, what would they do? Right? Try to think of that when you find yourself in confronted with problems. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna fucking end this because, like I said, there's basil water, there's chicken, there's marination going on. This stuff has to be cooked. It's all, like I said, food is life. Everything else is waiting. That's a ripoff of fucking Steve McQueen. But anyway, all right. I'm gonna let you guys out. Thanks everybody. Zoo, Jonathan Pohl, Adolf Hitler, who's here. I know Jonathan Pohl might not know Adolf Hitler was here. One of your famous countrymen of yours. Judas Lai Chai, and of course, Birchstock Purple Heart, and the lurkers, the bots, the feds, whatever. I was going to do a thing on, I may do a graphic novel about Fed Man and Pedo Boy in the future. Depending on how pissed off I get. but I may do a graphic novel. Of course, it's just a money making venture. But listen, guys, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you again next week.